Oh my gosh, I'm so sleepy. I hope y'all are doing well. Welcome in. Yeah, it's nice to see you again too. Let's see. First was taken by Jeremy. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for taking my first today. Makes me very, very happy that you could be my first. Daily Pillows, we've got Jacob on YouTube. We've got Jeremy, Wandering, Barb, and Vortexiality. Good morning. Hope y'all can be nice and comfy, cozy with their daily pillows. I got my water. Today we are playing Sigillum Resonance, which is a cyberpunk otome game. And honestly, I've been vibing to the music that this has been playing in the starting screen. The music already is really good. I'm a big fan. The art is really pretty too. It was very like soft painterly. They look just so fluffy. I don't know how to describe it. They look fluffy. And I like fluffy. Let's play. Let's start. Words with this effect are interactive. Ooh, so if the words glitch, they're interactive. Oh. Rejoice, O city. For the long night is upon us, and the gates of blessed Sigillum shall open once more. The long night. For 2 weeks each year the city sinks into darkness, and the once subtle song of the Sigillum Tower turns into a piercing wail that gnaws at every nerve and every thought. Life in the city comes to a halt as the Harmonauts soothe the tower, performing their quiet work. These preparations lead to the festival on the final night, and someday, with that festival, the choir will return, the one awaited for a century. Everyone's okay, the storm's over, but yeah, it was storming here too. I was so snuggly in bed, sleeping while it was storming outside. And now we got the choir. For the Devas, he is a god. For humans, an old tale of savior. For all, he is a lonely wanderer in the dark who once wished for a home filled with life. The Devas are his perfect creations, the humans his beloved guests. And then Sigillum, the greatest creation of the choir. The tower is rightfully considered the pillar of existence for the city of Devas. Its walls remember every soul, and its song serves as a guiding star in the dead darkness of the skies. When this song falters, life itself will end. The tower is divided into 2 parts. The upper part spans from the visible foundation to the spire. Here lies grand halls and countless pleasures for every guest. The lower part descends into the shadowy depths. Beneath the foundation, the space bends to its own laws, constantly reshaping into endless labyrinths. Only the choir master of the labyrinth, the trusted Harmonauts, and the inspector may venture there. Okay. Surrender to the alluring dreams of its depths. Embrace the pleasures that will melt away the shackles of your soul. Do you suffer from loneliness? Does imperfection torment you, or has your former passion faded? The Sigillum will drink your pain dry. The choir himself will hear your cries. What is this nonsense? I kind of like it. Is this an ad for the sacred Sigillum Tower or for a brothel? Hi, Toya. I'll be sure to ask the Harmonauts that. Think they'll burst with shame or outrage. Oh my gosh. By nature, they are the Devas, but they find their true purpose only by devoting body and soul to the choir in the city. They are his voice, his hands, and his will. Their duty is to preserve order and harmony, to lay the dead to rest, to heal the sick, repair, and rebuild the city. Harmonauts are found in every quarter, on every street. Each has a craft honed by years, a station, and a solemn duty. Wow, look at us learning so much. One of these days I'll get your first. I believe in you, Toya. A wave of irritation hit me as the ache in my body worsened, a subtle pain spreading from the back of my head to my lower back. The closer to the tower, the worse it gets. Who are they even trying to lure with that trash? No one's getting there without a Capella's permission anyway. There are plenty of reasons for that. Many believe the choir will return in time. A nice, round number date. 100 years. I'd love to get a good look at my god, you know. What's this I hear? Showing interest in work. Maybe even starting to question your past. As long as I work for the choir's inspector, I don't have to worry about the future, let alone the past. If it doesn't come knocking, there's no reason to chase it. Doubt there was anything warm and fuzzy waiting there anyway. I keep silent and a quiet laugh follows. I had the pleasure of meeting the Devils yesterday. They didn't let me get a good look at their heiress. She's the quiet type. This conversation was starting to evoke unease in me. The last thing I wanted to think about was another being who looked exactly like me. Heyman described her appearance in detail, but it's easier to not think about it and never look for photos. Same face, but a completely different person. Although she got better deal in height. Pity I didn't get to hear her voice. Seriously? What else did she get lucky with? Her chest? Her manners? I want back. I'm all ears. A stifled laugh follows. Human definitely enjoyed getting on my nerves. When he's in a good mood, he ruins everyone else's. Good thing I set up the comm link. Nice to hear real speech again. The Harmonaut's wailing drives me insane. It's only been a week. You missed me already. Don't you? His voice shifts oddly. The playfulness and lightness vanished. Yeah, I missed you. Terribly. Can't sleep. Just thinking about your creaky knees. A brief silence hung in the air. I thought my words caught him off guard, but a few seconds later, he burst out laughing again. The Harmonauts did a fine job. No more creaking. You can sit safely. But jumping, I wouldn't recommend it. I choked on air, shame burning the back of my neck. Are you drunk? You're the one who gets flustered by my clumsy flirting. It'd be stupid not to take advantage. So that's flirting. Don't you have any shame? I'm your servant. Try that charm on the tall, silent one instead. Another laugh in response. Swallowing my indignation, I try to steer the conversation back on track. A week left into the celebration. While the sigillum is being prepared, my whole body aches, and with each day, the discomfort only grows. Oh, the disharmony. When the mechanisms of the sigillum tower fail, it affects the mind of every resident of the city. The mind begins to falter, overcome by visions, delusions, false memories. The bodies weaken, undermined by trembling limbs, bloody sweat, relentless exhaustion. In the worst cases, a quiet death follows. Harmonauts call this phenomenon disharmony. Humans and devas whisper each other's names, the wail or the whisper. Any news in the city? Same old. Life has ground to a standstill. Humans can't endure the tower's wails. Devas are hiding away in the house far from the center. Oh, and Papushka's being difficult again. Doesn't like the food. Again? Alright, buy her something new. Some shops might still be open. One day she'll decide I'm her next meal. Angry, squeaking voices sound in the background. Anything I should know? Getting chewed out? What? No, the Harmonauts just get nervous when I need a few minutes of silence. Not for the damn doll, you wouldn't be stuck in the tower until the celebration. It's an ionic doll. When others can hear us, try to show some respect. Easier to not talk when others are around. Capella's servants react far too sharply to simple words. A dusty haze veiled the skyscrapers. A strained laugh turned into a wheeze echoed from below. Having fun? I hear laughter. Waiting for your Harmonaut. We agreed to meet in the city. Boyd wanted to talk in private. A secluded, scenic spot to my liking. The seclusion and scenery are debatable, but the view of the Sigillum Tower should appeal to him. Every Harmonaut belongs to the Capella. This one serves you specifically. Why didn't you introduce us earlier? Can't even get along with my cat. What kind of excuse is that? I can be polite and agreeable. Don't get too frank with them. Listen, but avoid answering personal questions. Will even ask any? What's a Harmonaut care about the inspector's servant? I warned you. All I've had to do so far is take care of the cat in Heman's own appearance. Doubt a Harmonaut's interested in that. And stay at my place until the end of the long night. Babushka needs company. What? I'm not sleeping under the same roof as your cat. It's not up for discussion. He went silent, and I heard an unpleasant crackle in muffled voices. They sound alarmed. Something up in the tower? If Void tells you anything interesting, contact me. The connection cut off. I turned the comm link off and pocketed it. Whatever good mood I had left evaporated. Capella's servant would be here any minute. I had to watch my tongue around him. No sarcasm, no familiarity, no jokes, no extra words. Sighing, I adjust my jacket and tighten my tie. Spotting oily smears on my elbow, I wince, noticing the grimy window frame. Perfect. I've been leaning on it the whole time I was talking to Heman. The city's hum drowned out the hiss of the door and the sound of the approaching footsteps. Asra Diva? Startled, I turned, trying to hide my stained sleeves with my hands. Good day, sir. Just Void. I should warn you, I'm not used to these kinds of meetings, formalities and such. He smiled with a hint of condescension and looked out over the city. The spire of the sigillvm tower caught the light. First time seeing a Harmonaut this close. Not at all how I imagined one. My gaze lingered on his figure, accentuated by the bright uniform. Where's the mask? The robe? Why is he like this? I forced myself to look away from his clothes and focus on his face. It looks like one of the choir's frescoes. Do Harmonauts alter themselves on purpose to resemble him? We haven't had the chance to meet in person. I nod, wary of saying too much. Is everything all right? I nod again, fixing my gaze on his sharp, pale ear. Don't worry about etiquette. I've worked with Heman long enough to be tolerant of most things. You asked for a private meeting. Is there something the inspector needs to know? Correct. Though I've been trying to see you for quite some time. I'm just a servant. Servants are plentiful. Most come and go often, then the sun rises over the city. Is that a compliment or an insult? He touched his earpiece and casually rubbed his ear. A shiver ran through his shoulder. A metallic tang briefly filled the air before fading. Last night, I met one of the patrons. He's either a witness or a victim. The inspector has to know, but he's already in the sigillvm and refused to maintain contact with me. Unlike you. Of course he refused. Those meetings with the Protector's ship and the Capella's complicated questions never end. At least inside the sigillvm, they won't pester him with constant requests. What happened? I'll let you see for yourself. Perhaps you'll notice something that escaped me. He stepped closer, leaning down so our eyes were level. Words are enough. It's a one-way contact, don't worry. He pointed to his ear. I disabled the block. The residents will only touch the necessary memories. You know how to handle it since you serve Heman, right? Heman didn't tell him I'm human? Now I get why he's so tolerant. I stepped back. Void immediately straightened, towering over me. There's been a misunderstanding. I'm human. His gaze dropped to my neck, studying the scar. I can imagine his shock. Confusing a Deva and a human, disgraceful for one of Capella's servants. Void nodded doubtfully and stepped back. Strange. This is the first time I've made such a mistake. You're not the first. Don't take it personally. Do you have implants? I hear a hum. Yeah, a blocker. Too many curious eyes and ears around the inspector. It sounds odd. When was the last time you were in the capella? I didn't have time to answer. A young man stepped out onto the balcony. Noticing my gaze, he narrowed his eyes with suspicion. Who is this? We were supposed to meet alone. This is a private meeting, Ista. Which part of that did you not understand? Get back in the car. The young man stepped forward, ignoring Void. His gaze, sharp, scanning, slid over me, sending a shiver down my spine. My eyes twitched, and I hastily covered my face with my hand. A patron. And judging by the feeling, one with resonance, like needles stirring under the skin. Ista's eyes drifted away from me, scanning the balcony with a look of mild contempt. Where's the inspector's servant? That's her. Suppressing my irritation, I bowed. Ista stepped closer. Hold on. Diva? Are you out of your mind? She's the last person who should know about the problem. Wood glanced quickly at me, then at the young man. Some personal history? She's a diva and a daughter of the proctorship. You're mistaken, though I made the same error. The lady is human, and more importantly, the inspector's servant. When I lowered my gaze, I noticed the stained hem of my trousers. The cheap fabric on my shoes was marred with the chemicals from the lower sector streets. They were already eating away at the soles. A patron, of course. With this, he insulted the entire aristocratic circle of the city. If the surname bothers you, it's the inspector's tasteless joke. Ista tilted his head, as if surprised by the sound of my voice. Have you gone blind and deaf, Harmonon? She's not human. I made it clear that no patron should know about what happened. Void gave a sour smile. I'm not going to explain myself to someone who interrupts other people's conversations and doesn't bother to introduce himself. I don't know who you're trying to fool or why, Diva, but if your lie bears fruit, the inspector will answer with his head. Watch your tongue, boy. I won't allow even a single hint of a threat towards a creation of the choir. Now I understand why Heman avoids patrons like the plague. Every meeting must feel like an execution to him. Ista's sighs and irritation, a condescending smile on his face. I didn't mean to offend anyone. I'm sure you had your reasons to leave your family and become a servant. No way that girl looks so much like me. Does he know her personally? None of us wants trouble with a powerful dynasty. I look over his clothes, but notice no distinguishing marks. Noble divas rarely pass up the chance to flaunt their status. One glance and he recognized me as a diva, like a scion of some dynasty himself. What is a diva of such standing doing here? A ringing filled my ears, my heartbeat pounding unevenly against my temples. Damn it. Even with the blockers on, I can feel him radiating. Patron, you better calm down. Otherwise you'll witness a rather unpleasant scene. To prove my point, I covered my mouth with my hand. Ista blinked in surprise and hastily stepped back. Will I hear the reason for this meeting today, or are we waiting for someone else? I had an unexpected encounter with a doll, surprisingly similar to the inspector, in my bedroom. What nonsense is this? There's only one Aeonic doll and it's in the sigillvm right now. Did Heman leave the tower? I hope that's a joke. If it is, it's a poor one. I contacted the inspector several times for personal reasons, but received no answer. So I turned to the capella, and then after what happened to Void... He looked to the Harmonaut, as if asking for permission to continue. What kind of personal reasons involve reaching out to the choir's inspector in the capella? Go on. I'm curious how you'll explain this. Ista stubbornly stayed silent. Are you sure it was an Aeonic doll and not something similar? And, pardon me, in your bedroom? That's right, in my bedroom. It wasn't a toy. I respect myself too much to drag such things into my bed, so spare me the insulting insinuations. Not offensive. I hadn't even thought of that. I wouldn't have requested a meeting if it were merely a plaything for someone's pleasure. Damn it, anything concerning the doll should be Heman's responsibility alone. When did this happen? Last night. Inspector's been in the tower for a week. Is the patron mistaken or lying on purpose? But Void seems convinced the psionic doll was real. I glanced at Void, gauging his reaction. He was thoughtfully examining my clothing. At least I'm certain Heman's fine. Where's the doll now? I need to prepare a report before contacting the inspector. About that, there's a problem. It vanished. Are they kidding me? Maybe Heman sent them both to test how diligently I work? Believe me, lady, I realize how absurd this sounds. However, the doll vanished without a trace once I calmed down. What do you mean, calm down? The young man panicked. Resonance, even an unstable one, can disrupt machinery and harm living beings. To be honest, for a moment I feared I killed the inspector, but I'd be shocked if he managed to singe so much as a hair on an ionic doll. My mind went blank. Everything I heard sounded like utter nonsense. How could Resonance possibly incinerate anything? Noticing my confusion, Void continued. The doll's disappearance wasn't due to Resonance. The patron had enough control to show me the memory of the encounter. The doll appeared suddenly and vanished, as if frightened by the reaction. This creature is something else, merely assuming the form of an ionic doll. Do you realize how strange this sounds? An uneasy silence settled. It was clear they expected me to answer at least one of their questions. Can we rule out the influence of disharmony? With hallucinations this vivid, there would also be physical symptoms. Void glanced at Ista. The young patron's physical condition is within normal limits. It would have been better if he'd simply gone mad from the tower's wail, but this? Damn it. I'll have to tell Heman. I'll pass the information to the inspector. He'll look it over once he's finished at the sigillvm tower. Void nodded. Ista was tensely studying my neck. A human among the inspector's servants? Is a personal preference or a mockery of the proctorship? Heman's human too, young patron. Was, a long time ago. Void glanced at Ista and nodded towards the door. Get back to the car. Don't order me around. I need answers. How can I be sure something like this won't happen again? I need to find the cause, but I have no idea what to even look for. Maybe it really was Resonance? We'll begin the investigation once the inspector gives permission. For now, we'll follow my recommendations. Shall I repeat them? No. Ista let out a resigned sigh and gave me a polite bow. I hope you can understand. I never meant to cause offense by pushing so hard, but if someone from the proctorship is threatening me, I have to know. I'm definitely going to regret this. Leave your contact information. If I learn anything, I'll let you know. He hands me a card and I recognize an address in the city center. This seems like a matter better discussed in person. I'll be waiting to hear from you, lady, so I won't take up any more of your time. Ista left the balcony. Void followed him with a tense gaze. So, you're not leaving them? Got anything else to say? How observant. So it's not just your looks that made you the inspector's servant. Diplomacy is clearly not his forte. Got a problem with my face? He smiled, ignoring the question. For a while, I handled burials in the capella. Sometimes the seeds of those who died in agony leave something behind. The young patron's case reminded me of that. I know little of such things. Allow me to clarify. Do you have a seed? I see a scar, but it's obviously fake. I nervously rubbed my throat. The devil's surname, a blocker, and a fake scar. The Harmonaut clearly has no idea what I am. Not all humans are cut out for such bodily alterations. Are you ill? I could say that. Void frowned. His pupils dilated as if he were trying to see the illness itself. A seed could free you from the shackles of a sick body. The Capella helps such people, no payment required. Under the Harmonaut's attentive gaze, I felt uncomfortable. That's my business. I apologize for the personal question. Regarding the seed, Void's voice changed, faintly resembling a song. His explanations dragged on until I realized I could no longer grasp their meaning. The drawn-out, lulling speech clouded my mind. I blink absently, trying to force my brain to focus. And what does that mean? What should I tell the inspector? Tell her I found a chimera. Excuse me? Heman didn't tell you? You mean the fairy tale monsters? Void turned the night cityscape. A brief flash lit up the spire of the sigillvm tower. Are you saying Ista encountered a chimera and not a doll? Perhaps. Tell Heman, see how he reacts. Why does it sound like he's trying to set me up? A crackle came from Void's earpiece. The Harmonaut froze, listening to the noise. I have to go. If you need me, here. He hands me a card with a string of numbers. You can contact me from any comlink. What an honor, my very own communication channel with the Harmonaut. He smirked but quickly hid the smile. I hope you won't have any serious reasons to use it. Still, I'd be glad to meet again under better circumstances. We said goodbye. The moment I was alone, exhaustion washed over me. Chimeras, huh? Heman will have a good laugh. After leaving a message, I expected a reply the next day, but that hope was clearly misplaced. You said that? A chimera? Didn't expect a Capella servant to start telling monster stories. Is he in his right mind? Heman didn't answer. I caught the hum of engines in the background. Inspector? Any more details, Asra? All this talk of chimeras and dolls right now sounds like a bad joke. I don't have time to deal with this right now. Just as I thought. Taking the word of a young patron in a strange Harmonaut was never a good idea. No body, no case. And frankly, I'm more concerned about Void's reaction to you. He's odd. Are all Harmonauts like that? If he were a model Capella servant, we never would have gotten along. And he's cunning. Knew you were human, but still had doubts. Why is he so interested in me? He liked you. That's not funny. The moment he saw the photos, he latched onto me and begged for an introduction. What photos? Heman didn't respond right away. A few seconds of silence sparked panic in my head. I frantically tried to recall who, how, and when could have taken those photos of me. Sometimes I forgot to turn off the camera in the apartments. I think he must have gone through the recordings and saw you. Huh? He saw me naked? No, I shut everything off from those days. Calm down. Just remember to turn off the cameras when you get back. I look in the elevator mirror. A tired, pale face with dark circles under my eyes was hardly something a Harmonaut would find appealing. But I make sure I don't end up naked in his apartment again. Heman laughed, and I turned away from the mirror in irritation. It's not funny, Inspector. He sighed wearily. The channel crackled with an engine screeching and the whistle of wind. A young patron, Ista Amaler. I've heard of him. A decent young man. Chose an interesting fate for himself. Amaler? It just keeps getting worse. One of the 3 proctorship dynasties? I shouldn't have even looked him in the eye. Did the young patron appreciate your manners? Sometimes I really should keep my mouth shut. Maybe always. Eloquent silence. Asra, plotting mischief? Ista mentioned he reached out to you with a personal request. Should I know the details? No. Oh, really? Fine. Choke on your secrets. Heman laughed. It's not my secret. It's his. I don't go around sharing yours with just anyone either. So I'm just anyone to you? Thanks for the clarity. What a sharp tongue you have. Static screeches in my ear, and I turn down the volume. So I'm done for the day? Don't get your hopes up, sweetheart. There's more work. I need... Oh, seems the signal's breaking up. Asra! Shh! Static! Shh! So real. Me too. I'm also dodging work. I hurriedly turn off the comlink and put it in my back pocket. Awkward. I almost feel guilty. Serves him right for teasing me. I'll check every recording. The choir help me if there's even one where I'm undressed. Hi, Lazy. Welcome in. Eamon's apartment was filled with the stale air and darkness. Only the glow of the monitors in the city at night lit the cramped space. What's with the monitors? I squinted at the patchwork of error messages on the nearest screen and eyed the chewed wires. Papushka, your handiwork? A cheerful meow came from the darkness. Dude, that cat is seeing some shit right now. That cat is looking straight through the screen and into my soul. Naughty, aren't you? The snow-white cat peeked out of the box, but hid again upon seeing me. Won't even say hi, huh? Little rascal. Feeling for the switch on the wall, I tried to turn on the light. The lamp flickered a few times, then went out entirely. Great. Am I just supposed to sit here in the dark for the whole long night? Whatever. I'll stay a couple hours for appearance's sake, then I'm out. Kicking rags and cables aside, I collapsed on the sofa, exhausted. The worn faux leather squeaked unpleasantly at every move. Eamon's probably furious right now. I'll apologize later. I glanced at the box with the white tail sticking out. Maybe I should dress up as a cat? I'll be so surprised I'll forgot he was even mad. I giggled, imagining his shocked face, but the amusement didn't last long. I'm losing focus. I'll call him back later and do whatever he says. A large ampule of stimulant glows red on the table. I picked it up, watching the liquid shimmer oddly. Even stimulants are colorless, but this one looks like a shady bar cocktail. What kind of junk did he bring back from the Capella this time? A stack of empty, dust-covered ampules lay nearby. Eamon used stimulants when he missed lost sensations of his body. I shuddered, noticed a long, heavy needle, the kind he used to inject straight into the core of his seed. He'd stopped using them in recent months, thanks to the choir, sticking needles full of weird liquids into yourself. Ugh. The darkness in the room suddenly shifted, and I spun around. Nothing moved. Pampushka? The cat gave a lazy meow from inside the box. Did I imagine it? The air in the apartment grew thick, as if charged with static electricity. Every nerve in my body tensed, sensing danger. The shadows twisted. A figure slowly took shape, a person staring straight at me, head tilted with a crack. For several long seconds, we stared at each other. How? The doors are locked, the alarm's on. Papushka would have raised hell across the whole district by now. The figure moved with eerie grace. Ice-cold fingers clamp around my throat, forcing me down against the sofa. Where? I grabbed its wrist. The ampule fell to the floor with a dull clink. The skin under my fingers was unnaturally smooth, like polished plastic. Hi, Elizabeth. So strong. I kicked out. A dull crack sounded. The figure barely flinched. Its hands tightened, threatening to crush my windpipe. It's a doll. Answer. At that moment, its appearance wavered. For an instant, its true form showed through cracked synth, unnaturally pale skin, and a face. I recognized that face. A human? The scar on its throat gaped like a ragged wound. A seed inside pulsed frantically, as if one more second and the whole thing would be ripped apart. I clutched at the thin, rigid fingers crushing my throat. Negotiations! The grip only tightened. The pale light in its single eye flared brighter. Oh shit, is it gonna kill me? Found it? It abruptly released my throat, giving me a moment to take a breath. A final breath. Damn, I knew I died. Damn it. I knew that was gonna kill me. Alright. Oh shit, we have to skip. We have to speed run. Alright, we got this. Now we know we need to save. Okay, so save. There we go. Well, we got our first death ending. Twisting, I kicked all my strength at the throat, hitting the gaping scar head on. The doll's body convulsed, its fingers loosened their grip. Breaking free, I shoved the doll back. It staggered, froze, and collapsed with the dull thud. Damn thing. Another second and it would have finished me. It's a full-on puppet. Trembling, the doll propped itself up on its elbows, trying to crawl away. The cat peeked out from the darkness, watching the commotion with a predatory interest. I can't believe this. My throat burned like fire. Another moment and those mechanical hands really would have crushed my windpipe. Just you wait, you bastard. I'll tear you apart myself. Grabbing the stimulant needle from the table, I approached the doll. Its convulsions stopped. The single intact eye slowly turned towards me, reflecting the monitor's pale light. Who are you? The doll stayed silent, and a wave of revulsion hit me. Human's face with its mangled throat stirred a nauseating emptiness in my chest. The seed barely fit in the cavity. How did they even cram it in there? One wrong move means a crack, distortion, mutation of the consciousness, or instant death. I hope it didn't belong to a human. I gripped the needle tighter, studying the doll's twisted, broken body. Cracks, warped joints, mismatched limbs, everything about it screamed of imperfection. Whoever assembled it, it wasn't the choir. Who did this? The eye twitched, its empty gaze fixed on my throat. If you answer, I'll remove the seed and give it to the Capella. The Harmonauts will preserve whatever they can. I doubt there's anything left to save, but if the seed belonged to a diva, there's a chance the owner's still alive. They don't hear. Do you? Who doesn't hear? What should I hear? Please. The doll froze, the light in its seed winking out. Irritated, I looked around the apartment as if the answer were lying somewhere close. Just great. I stood still, listening to the faint hum filling the room. Hesitating, I turned off the blocker, hoping to hear something. Closing my eyes, I tried to concentrate. It could very well be the death throes of a fading consciousness, but if I hear anything... Papushka let out a long yowl, attracting attention. I glanced at the cat irritably, and only a moment later realized the doll was gone. What? I touched my neck uncertainly. The damaged skin was intact, leaving only a vague memory of pain. Papushka jumped onto the sofa, dug into the upholstery, sharpening her claws with intent. Did you see that? The cat, of course, didn't answer, just flicked her tail nervously in my direction. I hastily rolled up my sleeve. The skin remained dry and clean, not a trace of bloody sweat. Okay, not crazy. This Harmony's not to blame. Damn it, no, that's even worse. Checking my pocket, I found my comm link broken. The delicate frame was cracked in half. Ugh, I shouldn't have kept it in my back pocket. Sighing, I closed my eyes, trying to force my mind to work. A faint pain from the tower's wail intensified, throbbing at my temples. Merciful choir, is this what Ista and Void were talking about? Appearing from nowhere, vanishing without a trace? I need to contact the inspector. I looked at the comm link. The acrid smell of burnt plastic was anything but reassuring. I can't call from another one. He tuned this one specifically to receive calls from inside the tower. Biting my lip, I pulled Void's card from my pocket. Didn't think I'd have to use this one so soon. The ever-noisy streets of the lower sector had fallen silent. Even the darkest corners of the city emptied before the long night began. I spotted the bar's sign and looked around hesitantly. He said he'd be waiting here. Running late? A group of people rushed out the bar and disappeared around the corner. Places like this close first before the long night. Why is it still open? The bar was dark and deserted. No music, just the hum of old monitors and a bartender lazily wiping the counter. Getting ready to close? I cautiously wove between the tables. The bartender finally noticed me and waved me over with a lazy gesture. We're closed. No drinks, no games, no sitting, no bathroom. Did a Harmonaut come in here? The man sighed tiredly. A muffled groan came from behind the door. Stay here. The bartender dropped the rag and disappeared behind the door. A moment later, the door swung open. The bartender stumbled out with a bloodied nose. Void followed. The Harmonaut gave me a brief glance, then turned back to the man. I asked for a minute of silence. Was that too much to ask? The bartender shook his head, spitting blood onto the floor. A black, oily puddle spread slowly across the tiles. Devil, you're right on time. I'm not so sure about that. Void went back into the room and a moment later dragged out a doll by its dislocated leg. The distorted body was an exact copy of the creature from the apartment. Its empty eye flared and focused on me. I have a lot of questions. I have even more. Sadly, no one here has answers. The bartender quietly returned to the counter and went back to work, as if nothing unusual had happened. I approached Void and whispered, "Beating up civilians now? Does it look that way?" He saw something, panicked, missed the door. A convulsion shook the doll's body. Its neck turned with the crack. The eye kept tracking my every move. Void studied the odd reaction, but quickly turned to me. I was surprised, but not as much as I expected. I had to tell him what happened in the apartment. After listening, Void glanced at the doll with interest. Curious. Creepy, you mean? Did the doll speak in human's voice or another? I paused, realizing I couldn't recall the sound of the voice. It seemed to come from within, blending seamlessly with my thoughts. I'm not sure. Is this what you call a chimera? Void didn't answer, his gaze fixed on my neck, studying every inch of skin with sharp intensity. Void, tell me you have answers. No, but we'll find them. I'm just a servant. All I can do is style the inspector's hair and brush the cat. The Harmonaut noticed my confusion. His lips twitched in a condescending smile that immediately made my jaw clench. I was planning to dismantle it while we still can, but the structure is fragile. And if it disappears the moment no one's looking, then we'll see. I'd like to witness something vanish without a trace. Something about you and Ista attracted this creature's attention. What do you have in common? Maybe we should figure out what this creature is first. Is this some kind of deformed aeonic doll? Human's body looks different. And you see how the seed is swollen? It looks ready to burst through the throat. Seeds don't expand like that unless... Could it be a side effect of the stimulant? Void narrowed his eyes, as if something in my words deeply displeased him. You let a servant examine his body? Huh? Yeah, is that a problem? Forget it. The inspector's in the sigillum, but this whole situation, isn't it reason enough to let him out the tower? If it hasn't been sealed yet, then Neff and Senti will let him go. But it could take time. Bureaucracy is inflexible in these matters. Who? The choir masters of the sigillum. He leaned over the doll and prodded the scar on the throat. I stepped closer. The doll twitched, struggling to turn its face towards me. Void immediately pushed me aside. Stay back. Did the doll say something? You're the only one it's acknowledged. At least Ista didn't hear a thing. Void bit his lip, examining the doll with irritation. He seemed annoyed that the creature showed no interest in him. Fine. We'll do it differently. Ista can look inside the doll. The boy will be useful for once. Good practice for his resonance, too. He talks about resonance like it's a surgical tool. Surprising. Usually the Capella's servants revere it as a sacred gift from the choir. He's a patron. You can't drag the entire protectorship into the inspector's affairs. Right now, he's just a lone, frightened Deva, not a child of the protectorship. Ista renounced his family? Great, then I don't have to mind my manners. If he wants help, he's got to earn it. It's in his best interest to impress the inspector. Void slung the doll over his shoulder and walked out without looking back. Can I just hand him the comlink and run? Listen, I'll just get in the way. I have never dealt with anything like this. Let me give you the comlink and you can explain everything to the inspector. No. You don't understand. I said no. You're coming with me, Asra. And until the inspector says you're free, you don't take a step without my approval. I was taken aback. I wasn't used to such a commanding tone, but I understood one thing clearly. You can't argue with the Harmonaut. He knew how to inspire fear with a single glance. Void gave a dry smile, noticing my reaction. Obedience suits you. Wow, nice apartment. Ista met us with a calm nod. Noticing the doll, he silently stepped aside, letting us in. Didn't expect we'd meet so soon. And you, Void, I wasn't expecting at all. He eyed the doll, standing motionless in the middle of the room. Leaning towards me, he whispered, "What's with them? Am I in trouble?" "That's not the inspector." Ista straightened abruptly. "Then you two better explain why you dragged this thing to my house." "Put your gift to good use, patron." "No, it's not a request." "That's so. Then take this filth and get out, straight to the Capella." He glanced at me. "But the lady can stay." "How hospitable." "I'm not." The doll twitched and Ista recoiled. "The choir, get rid of this abomination." "Calm down, boy. Tell me, do you hear anything?" Now the doll's staring at Ista. It doesn't seem eager to disappear. "No, but it feels repulsive. It's radiating something sinister." "Be specific. What do you feel?" He didn't answer, turning to me instead. "I need the inspector's word. If he agrees to help me, I'll return the favor. I'll look into this abomination as deeply as I can." "He's in the sigillum." "What a pity. You'll find your own way out." I'll talk to him about it. Void, can you fix the comm link?" "I'll handle it." "There's no faster way?" "The tower's cut off from the city. If you have any ideas, I'm all ears." "Do your job, Harmonaut. There's a room in there that should suit you." "Not with the tools I'll need. I'll bring mine. You two stay here until I'm back." "I'm going home. You guys can deal with this. Call me when the comm link's fixed." "I'm not staying alone with that thing." Void sighed wearily and closed his eyes. "Merciful choir, you're worse than children. Everyone stays here. Is that clear?" I glanced at Ista. He looked back at me. "Lock up the doll. If it vanishes, I'll crack both your skulls open myself to find out why this creature's after you." "How charming. New standards for the Capella servants on display, huh?" "Just for you, boy. Behave unless you want trouble with me on top of everything else." Ista grimaced, glancing at the doll. "Asra, did you hear me?" One dropped call from the inspector, and here I am. I just hope what I'm doing now is enough to justify it. "I heard you. Consider me and the young patron best friends. Maybe the doll won't want to leave our lovely company." Ista smirked but didn't argue. "If he keeps his mouth shut, I'll be fine." Void nodded and left the apartment. Issa turned to the doll, tensely studying its distorted limbs. This thing belongs in the Capella. Anything involving dolls falls under the inspector's work. As far as I know, there's only one ionic doll. This one looks more like the one serving in my estate. The doll twitched and collapsed to the floor with a dull thud. Ista exhaled and turned away. Human never mentioned other ionic dolls, but what else could this be? Prototypes, maybe? Even the choir couldn't create something perfect on the first try. I need to get back to the inspector's apartment. Aren't you listening? We're staying here, and I hope you keep your word. The inspector should hear about my help. There's a cat at home. I can't leave her alone. At least this order from Heman I must obey. A cat? The food. Damn it, I forgot to buy it. We'll bring her here. There should be enough space. They scanned the apartment with a thoughtful glance, as if calculating how much room a cat might need. Got any food for her? There's probably something edible around. By the way, where are the servants? Don't tell me the young patron actually takes care of himself. I'm looking at one right now. I'm not your servant. Every human in the city belongs to the patrons. You enjoy pretending to be human, don't you? Better get used to living without servants. Heard you lost the protectorship's favor. My condolences. Ista laughed heartily. Careful, Devil. I might demand moral compensation. Humans can only repay debts to devas with themselves. What an ass. I hope Papushka claws a smug face to pieces. Yeah, get his ass, Papushka. After a pause, we shoved the doll into the dark room together. Unfortunately, it didn't resist, just cast its hollow gaze over us. Now it seems fixed on the patron. As soon as I opened the door, the cat yowled and darted towards Ista's feet. Is that her? What a cutie. Aww, look at her. Cutie. He scooped the cat into his arms, but she squirmed, climbed onto his shoulders, and settled across his epaulets with a pleased purr. Guess she likes me. I've never had such an enthusiastic welcome. I shot an envious glance at Papushka's content little face. Traitor. I feed you, I brush you, and you throw yourself at the first aristocrat you see? Good girl. Her fluffy tail curled around Ista's neck. In the quiet apartment, her relaxed purring filled the air. So this is where the inspector lives. Quite modest. I grabbed the bowl and the half-empty bag of cat food. What'd you expect, a palace? The inspector doesn't care about wealth or comfort. The sofa and pillows are here mostly for the cat's comfort. Ista nodded absently, stroking the cat's tail. I'd never met him personally. What's he like? A professional, I suppose. I glanced at Ista. And he wears clothes. Better if human never finds out you mistook him for that thing. That's not what I meant. You know, there are plenty of rumors about the Ionic doll. I'd like to know if any of those are true. If there's any truth to those. I can't discuss that. He nodded, focusing on the monitors. That's it? He's just gonna shut up? But I'm curious. What rumors? All sorts. Spill. Heyman likes hearing gossip about himself. Really? Last I heard, the inspector's a cappella project, a regular harmonaut they rebuilt to mimic a creation of the choir. After all, who but the cappella would know for sure? It'd explain where another doll came from. Ugh, boring. Heyman wouldn't even crack a smile at that. I was expecting something juicier. Just don't say that to Void. Void, he's a decent harmonaut. Terrible personality, but honestly, I trust him with my life. His suddenness openness threw me off balance. I know our interaction hasn't given you the best impression. That's my fault, and relax. I don't care about your spats. We're just stuck in an odd situation. We don't have to be friends. Ista sighed. When he's alone, he seems like an ordinary guy. Not a trace of patron snobbery. If you're done, let's go. Best if Void doesn't find out about our little trip. Oh, and the cat just appeared out of thin air? He absently stroked the tail, noticing clumps of fur, and shook it from his glove. I'll blame it all on you. And then I'll pin it on you. He laughed, lifted the cat off his shoulders, and squeezed her in a tight hug. Kibby. Papushka pranced around like she owned the massive house. Ista watched quietly for a few minutes as the cat zipped from corner to corner, leaving tufts of fur behind. So much energy for such a tiny thing. The door clicked. Void froze in the doorway, staring at the cat. It was her. I tried to talk her out of it, but the girl's uncontrollable. What a jerk. That's Heman's cat. Hearing the harmonaut's voice, Papushka skidded to a stop and turned to Void. I couldn't leave her alone. Nodding, Void silently headed to the room with the doll. Papushka shot after him. What's next? Is this cat gonna chase every man she sees? I sank onto the sofa, utterly exhausted. Ista's house felt too bright, too quiet, too sterile. Want a drink? He placed a sealed bottle with a bright label on the table. Alcohol? You trying to kill me? Just soda, all I could find. Though there's alcohol too. I can drink once the sigillum calms down. Ista disappeared into the kitchen. I'm not spending a week stuck here with the patron. Hopefully Void fixes the comlink fast. I glanced at the door Void had gone through. Should I follow him? Let's see. I think... I'm a little nosy. He serves human. We'll find common ground. Better a Harmonaut than a volatile patron. While Issa was busy in the kitchen, I slipped away. The room was dim, lit only by monitors. I spotted the doll, carefully propped against the wall. Trying to tidy it up? You should have just ripped off its limbs just in case. Void was intently studying schematics on the monitor. I cleared my throat to get his attention. He looked back reluctantly. What is it? Not bored, are you? Please, and close the door. Can you get the cat out? Papushka was weaving around Void's legs, begging for attention. I scooped her up, dodging her sharp claws, and set her outside the room. Go pester the patron. You like him more anyway. Void gave a faint smile, watching me. Oh, he probably wanted me to leave and close the door. I won't get in the way. I'll just stand here quietly, thinking about important stuff. He nodded and started taking apart the comlink's casing. His eyes flicked between the schematics on the monitor and his tools. I paced the room, occasionally glancing at Void. I didn't dare approach the doll. That uniform's so tight. Was it comfortable to move around in? Void turned and I quickly looked away. Did you help the inspector with maintenance? If you can call it that. Care to elaborate? I replaced synth, lubricated joints, mended clothes, styled his hair too. I hesitated, unsure whether to keep talking. That's all? Am I reading this wrong, or are you getting at something? Just trying to figure out why he even needed help with that sort of thing, and why he was so set on postponing our introduction. Strange, isn't it? Void opened the casing and paused, studying the charred wires. I remembered Heman's words. He liked me? That's impossible. I'd be stupid to believe that. But still. Looks like Papushka likes you. She, like any cat, is drawn to warmth. Heman's cold and stiff, but she loves him anyway. Void shot me a glance and narrowed his eyes. What? You're just like her. Very funny. He chuckled quietly. Consider it a compliment. Void stretched, tugging a wire at his neck a few times, then brushed his shoulder irritably. But you do have your perks. For example, you don't shed and you smell nice. I pulled my jacket to my nose and took a whiff. I smell like cat food and low sector chemicals. Papushka definitely wins in the fragrance department. How's a Capella servant ending up serving the inspector? The Capella serves the choir. So does the inspector. Not much has changed in my life. Is dodging the question? Sore subject? He handled burials. That's supposed to be an honorable position, unlike serving Heman. Aren't you going to stand there quietly and think about important stuff? Then will you tell me more about chimeras? Devil, have you ever heard of decorum? I glanced back, catching the doll's lone eye glinting in the dark. Do you think it hears and understands everything? I think you're keeping me from focusing on the repairs. Want to jump on my back and start purring too? Realizing what he meant, I burst out laughing. Void let out a tired sigh. Eamon clearly wanted more chaos than one cat can provide. Is that why he brought you in? Don't answer. Just go. Understanding the hint, I left the room. I sank into the sofa, stretching out with a groan before shutting my eyes. The bright light cut through my swollen eyelids. The blocker on my temple throbbed under my skin. Calm down. Just endure it. Void will fix the comlink, Yuma will know what's going on, and things will get easier. Drifting off, I suddenly felt the sofa dip under someone's weight. A chill, sharp as a needle, pierced my spine. I opened my eyes. A doll was right beside me, staring at my throat. Hello? The patron came back to the room, carrying glass and a bottle of whiskey. He froze, spotting the doll. Don't move. I'd prefer if it didn't move. This creature's angry. You'd never guess from that lifeless face. Too scared to budge, I stared at the doll's empty face. It was completely blank. Ista edged towards the sofa and carefully placed the glasses and the bottle on the table. Asra, open the scar slowly. Are you insane? I'm not digging into its throat. He muttered a curse and inched towards the sofa. The doll twitched and collapsed on the floor. As soon as its convulsions stopped, I shot off the sofa and hid behind Ista. Did it calm down? Seems it can feel pain from resonance. Why'd you mention the scar? I heard something. Maybe I was wrong. You hear it? I told you, there's something vile and dark in it. Not words, more like a premonition. Void stepped in, hearing the commotion. Seeing our tense faces, he raised an eyebrow. Couldn't you bolt that thing to a wall? Excuse me? Ista pointed at the sofa and froze. The doll, which had been lying on the floor just a moment ago, was gone. He spun toward me, panicked, like he needed me to confirm it was real. The doll was just here, I swear. Without a word, Void slipped back into the room. The moment the door shut, Ista seized my hand and gripped it tight. It was the same the first time. It showed up while I was changing. I shut the wardrobe and there it was, right behind the door. I glanced at his hand, shaking. He was clearly terrified. And it was angry? I don't know. I lost control. When I came to, the doll was melted, lying in the corner. I blinked and it was gone. His pupils pulsed nervously, and the pressure of the resonance in my temple grew unbearable. Another moment, and his fear and confusion would stab into my mind like needles. Without thinking, I slapped him across the face. Ista flinched. His cheeks reddened instantly. He stared at me, stunned. We stood in silence, locked in a tense glare. Then he blinked, released my hand, and let out a shaky breath. Thanks, but next time don't hit so hard. He checked the inside of his cheek with his tongue and winced. You could have fried my brain. Unlikely, but still. Void returned and gestured silently at the sofa. Ista and I swapped a look and sat down without a fuss. The Harmonaut handed the patron an empty glass. Where's the doll? First, let's check something. What's in the glass? Ista grabbed it and flipped it over. Nothing. No time for stupid questions, Harmonaut. Void leaned towards him. Ista recoiled. You sure? Is this an effective disharmony? Void straightened, studying Ista. That look had cut. More like an anomaly in the seed's behavior. I suspect it belonged to a Deva, a highly gifted one. I listened, completely lost. And it really wants to be heard. But why the two of you? Guess it likes us. Void didn't react, his eyes darting between me and the patron. Asra has an implanted blocker, and if I'm not mistaken, she can resist external influence, with mixed results. Really? Void arched an eyebrow, and I realized I should explain. Heman implanted the blocker. I thought it was to keep patrons or Harmonauts from reading my thoughts. Ista shot me a suspicious look. Void touched his ear, a sharp trill coming from his earpiece. Does contact with the Capella's servant destabilize the blocker? I don't think so. Heman did the installation himself? I don't remember. Does it matter? Void tilted his head and pursed his lips. A faint twitch flickered at the corners of his mouth and eyes. Every now and then, something eerie, almost inhuman, crept into his expression. I thought I was used to Heman's unnatural expressions, but he exists inside a doll. He imitates body movement and tone so as to not unsettle others. Void is flesh and blood, so why does he feel so artificial? Ista grimaced, rubbing his red-rimmed eyes. I spotted blood at the corner of his mouth. Guess I hit him too hard. I didn't even know things like that existed. Wouldn't mind one myself. Don't you have enough scars already? Void's eyes lingered on Ista's throat before he turned away. Can't believe I'm saying this, but you should drink more alcohol. Are you joking? Any intoxicant, especially alcohol, is strictly forbidden during the long night. Humans often break that rule and pay with their lives. The sigillum's wail can literally turn a weak body under the influence inside out. You're both young. You'll be fine. Nightmares and sore muscles beat the disharmony that could turn your brains to mush. He looked at me thoughtfully. And the best advice a Capella servant can give is to get blackout drunk? Void remained silent, noticing the blood on the patron's lip. Are you injured? Ista let out a weary laugh, then winced, covering his mouth. Hi, Granola Bear. Welcome in. Asra has a heavy hand. Any reason for the violence? I started to explain, but Ista brushed it off. It's fine. We were just bonding. Hi, Key. I can see that went well. I muttered a curse under my breath and glanced at the whiskey bottle. The doll's back in place. I'm keeping an eye on it, but you'll have to watch yourselves. With one last look at the patron, Void slipped back into the room. I'm speechless. Ista gave a faint chuckle and opened the whiskey bottle. Blessed resonance, a miracle gifted by the choir. Shame it comes with a side of madness. I'm sorry. Oh, don't worry, I'm used to it. He poured the glasses full and handed one to me. Used to getting slapped? Ista took a sip and grimaced. Damn, it burns. I'm really sorry. Maybe we can find a first aid kit and better just drink. After we downed our first glasses, the tension melted away. We both flushed, dodging any real conversation. Oh my god, he's stripping? Sir, your shirt's open. Oh my god. Ista shrugged his coat off and unbuttoned his shirt. I stared at the vivid scar on his throat. It was neatly formed, but something about it felt off. Is it fake? I guess not. It looks freshly opened. There were other scars, too. A faint white line traced from his collarbone, vanishing under his shirt. Don't you have too few scars? A few too many scars for such a patron? He didn't answer, running his fingers along the faint scar like he was seeing it for the first time. Does it hurt? The cheek? Terribly. Where do you hide that kind of strength in such a tiny frame? We're the same height, smartass. Are we? Ista glanced at my feet in heavy boots, and after a pause started untying the laces. What are you doing? He didn't answer, fully focused on the knots. After untying the laces, he gently slipped the boots off my feet and set them aside. Maybe he shouldn't drink anymore. And then again, what a night. More's happened in a few hours than in a whole year. I refilled our glasses and handed one to Ista. I'm good. I sighed, disappointed, and propped my feet on the sofa. Ista followed the motion with his eyes. Am I breaking etiquette? Her socks are funny. To me, my black socks with their crooked hamster faces were peak aesthetics. Show me yours, I bet they're boring. He gave a dry laugh and scooted closer, pulling my feet onto his lap. Oh my god. Bro thinks he's so slick right now. His sudden closeness made my hands shake, and I quickly set the glass on the table before spilling it. Alright, I've had enough too. Ista leaned back on the sofa, resting his hands on my feet. Bro, get your hands off my feet. Get them off of there. What are you doing, bro? His fingers idly traced my calves, like he'd mistaken my legs for a cat. The awkwardness and tension from his touch melted away. Alcohol does have a way to play with your head. Not that fast, bro. I'm not down in my fucking shot of vodka and immediately start rubbing on somebody's feet. That has never happened once in the history of me drinking, I assure you. An unbearable drowsiness washed over me. A tap on my knee snapped me awake. I forced my sore eyes open. Ista had fallen asleep with my feet still in his lap. Papushka was curled up by his head, her fluffy tail draped around his neck. I finished the repair. We're lucky. They didn't seal off the tower. He spoke softly, careful not to wake the patron or the cat. I gently pulled my legs from Ista's grasp. Void nodded towards the kitchen. Don't put off the call. You plan on standing there eavesdropping? Yes. I hope he's too busy to be mad about the dropped call. And now Void's here too. Maybe you should tell him yourself. You'd do it better. That's your job. The comm link beeped. In the silence, Heeman's cold, detached voice came through. Listening. Void shot me a look and turned away. I knew Heeman well enough to tell he was furious. If it's my fault, I should probably apologize. I cleared my throat, trying to hide my anxiousness. I'm really sorry about our last call, but you went too far with your jokes, and you know the elevator caused awful interference. I nearly went deaf. And then in the apartment... Void shot me another look, and I let out a frustrated sigh. Perfect. I can't even apologize, right? You ignore my calls for a day to say that? Try again. Void pursed his lips, stifling a laugh. I'm sorry. Fine. That's enough from you. You didn't just call me just for that, did you? There was a doll in your apartment. What? More details. Inspector. Void. Why are you two together? I quickly summed up everything that happened. Heeman didn't interrupt. When I finished, a weary sigh crackled through. Is everything calm in the sigillum? I can't talk about that. Void glanced at me like he was holding back a thought. You okay? I'll live. Should I report this to the Capella? The doll's my responsibility. The Capella's choir master has other things to worry about. So, what do we do now? Heeman went quiet, and I could tell he was debating whether to share anything. You were going to give me some work to do. Yes, walking papushka, not fighting dolls. Void, you examined it. Did you notice anything? There's a choir sigil in the trachea. The seed's intact, but it's got a web of cracks inside, swollen and spreading fast. It tore the larynx. The limbs are deformed. For some reason, it's drawn to Asra and the young patron. It ignores me completely. A choir sigil? They put that on everything the Capella produces. A human's body doesn't have one. And you found it in a bar in the lower sector? What was it doing there? Standing. Void, I'm not in the right mood for this. Talk. There's a Harmonaut's workshop near the bar. He contacted me, asked me to check where the bar was still open. I checked. The doll was just standing in the storeroom, unnoticed by anyone. So that's what he was doing at the bar? Could the dolls Ista and I saw be disharmony's effects caused by it? I tried to recall the map. The bar was fairly close to Heeman's and Ista's apartment. No, still too far. It's ridiculous. Disharmony can't be directed at someone specific, and its only source is the Sigillum Tower. No problems at the Capella lately? Business as usual. No Harmonauts gone missing? I don't track every Harmonaut, Inspector. Some are on long missions outside the city. Some haven't left the tower for years. Got it. You don't recognize the seed in the doll? Void stayed quiet, his expression showing he was enthralled with the question. I took you in service for one purpose, Void, and instead of doing your job, you're tagging along with my servant? I smirked, catching the twitch at the corner of his lips. Wait, I'll be there soon. Where are you staying? At Istamler's apartment. I'll send the address. You... Damn it, did the entire patron staff hear me just now? It's just the three of us, and Papushka. That boy's with you too? He's asleep right now. Good. Tell him I'll help with his difficulties. Once I'm out of the sigillum, we'll discuss the details. And me? Do as Void says. The signal cut off. He's furious. Oh, really? How observant of you. Void flashed a grim smile. No need to be rude. So I'm your servant now? Should I curtsy or sing an ode to the Capella? The choir save us from servants like you, and your tongue's too sharp for your own good. Pursing my lips, I humbly bowed my head. Void stepped closer and gave me a firm pat on the back, making me stand straight. No desire to humiliate you, Asra. The door flew open. Sleepy Ista shot us an annoyed glance. What's this gathering about? Good morning. Ista grimaced unsuccessfully, trying to fix his ruined hairstyle. The inspector will be here soon. He'll help you. Ista nodded and stepped closer, leaned his head on my shoulder. Void raised an eyebrow. Still half asleep, patron? I froze, caught off guard by the weight on my shoulder. The gesture felt warm, yet oddly unsettling. What's with the sudden affection? What's wrong? Void looked at me, puzzled. A vague sense of what happened clicked in my head. I cleared my throat. I used to alcohol, huh? Stress, a bit of drinking. Any weird dreams? Dreams? Esta straightened abruptly, studying me. Fear and embarrassment flashed across his face. Oh, now I get it. Pull yourself together. Esta, flustered and confused, ran out the kitchen. Aw, he's shy. Don't be mean to him. Yeah, he was rubbing on your feet all weird or whatever, but like, he's cute. You pick your battles. You pick your battles, man. Boy. I tugged at my jacket. He's so gentle when he's half asleep. Almost feels wrong to tease him. Fallen under his charm already? I'd like to see your face if a cute girl suddenly leaned on your shoulder. You can try it and find out. Cut it out. Your flirting gives me chills. And I'll complain to Heman. Got it? Void smirked, glancing out the window. How terrifying. Don't Harmonauts have tons of vows? Won't they spank you for flirting with a human? Unable to hold back, he laughed out loud. Honestly, if anyone needs a spank... Oh my god, wait, this is kind of crazy. Where is this coming from? For inappropriate behavior towards a Capella servant and a young patron. Esta came back. The cat zipped in after him, her tail curling around his legs. Who's spanking who here? The Capella's servant's threatening me. You're my witness, Esta. He gaped at Void, puzzled. You sure your brain didn't short circuit? Harmonauts get like that with age. I'm young. Now you're just an asshole by nature? Esta choked, staring at me. Realizing what I said, I gave a quick bow. I apologize. I didn't mean to be rude. Now I see why the inspector delayed introducing us. Enough. You're the one provoking her. Exactly. He keeps staring holes through me and pushing my buttons. Void kept studying me. I felt like he wanted to dig his fingers into my skull. I straightened slowly, focusing on the tile pattern. I'm not saying another word to him unless I absolutely have to. So, we just wait for the inspector? You two, yes. I'll return to the bar and check the place again. That doll hasn't vanished yet, and it's very similar to the one I saw the first time. It's a disharmony effect, a vivid, tangible hallucination. I sealed the seed as best I could, so there shouldn't be more incidents like that. We've had enough of the sigillum's wail. I've never seen disharmony take that shape. It feels more like resonance. My father can do something similar. I glanced at Ista with interest. I'm not the only one who finds this strange. A doll's just a mechanism. Resonance doesn't occur in them, but could it be causing disharmony? Does the doll radiate like the tower, or is it something else? Something else. If it was the tower, I'd feel it too. To me, the doll feels more like a crypt. A flood of hazy, eerie images hit my mind. The blocker overheated, buzzing loudly in the kitchen. Your blocker's about to burn out. Mind if I take a look? And slice my face to ribbons while you're at it? No need. It's been like that since installation. Like a young deva's, celestial flesh rejecting metal. I'm human. You say so. Maybe you should hurry back to the bar? Void gave a sour smile and left the kitchen. Ista watched him go, his eyes tense. By the choir, there's so much static between you two, it's hard to breathe. No clue why he's picking on me. Hopefully once Heman gets here, I can go home. Want to take another look at the doll? Last time wasn't enough for you? I want to look at it without fear. The inspector's the same after all. Nothing of the sort. He's a sweetheart. Ista raised a brow. That's none of my business, but are you sure you're his servant and not... He trailed off, too nervous to finish. What, his lover? You said it. Listen, being a lover to a doll is a bit complicated. He's got hands. And it's, oh my god. Merciful choir, I'm too sober for this conversation. I didn't know this game would go so horny all of a sudden. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I just... I'm not upset at all. I just didn't expect it out of nowhere. And I'll pretend this talk never happened. Let's get going and look at the doll. The moment we stepped into the room, the doll twitched and locked its eyes onto us. Creepy thing. Ista let out a sigh, edged closer, and crouched beside it. If I start shaking, be kind enough to step in. Want to look into it with resonance? I'll try. Hi, Tremor. Welcome in. Don't break it, or yourself. He nodded, focusing on the doll. I moved closer, ready to intervene. Silence fell. For a moment, all sound vanished, and I heard the faint, slow thud of my heartbeat. The doll's eyes twitched, fixing on me. A question echoed in my head. Will you find it? I narrowed my eyes at its blank face. The features shimmered, almost shifting into something else. For a split second, it felt eerily familiar. Do you hear? Ista shot upright, jolting me out of the trance. Did you hear that? It's a plea for help, and... He went quiet, his lips pressed into a thin line. Go on. Something awful happened to the sigillum, Asra, but it's just trapped emotions in the seed, nothing clear. Jumbled images like they're from different devas or humans. I studied the doll, hoping to see or hear something else. You ask stupid questions and you can't even give me a hint? If something happened in the tower, humans should know more. I hope so. I wanted to figure out where the doll came from and how it ended up on the streets, but I got nothing. There's nothing inside it except a whirl of fragmented emotions and visions. A familiar feeling. My earliest memory, standing on a dead city street during the long night. No past, just a choking fear pushing me away from the tower. Ista looked at me, worried, like he was seeing those images himself. Stay out of my head. What? You're crying, Asra. I blinked, brushing my cheek, surprised to find tears. What the hell? Crying in front of a patron's the last thing I need. Do you need anything? Water? A comforting hug? Think I need a hug for emotional balance? It's not about need, but want. Helps me, at least. Hi, Darren. He looked down, tugging at his coat. Someone else's warmth can be calming, though sometimes it can hurt more. I suddenly realized he might need the hug more than I did. I've only hugged Heman and Papushka. Heman's stiff and cold, and Papushka yowls like she's dying. I cleared my throat and spread my arms. Ista chuckled, watching me. How very gracious of you, Lady Divil. Stepping closer, he wrapped his arms around my shoulder and patted my back. I caught the faint scent of his perfume, but before I could place it, he stepped away and gestured to the door. Let's go before the doll decides to join us. The next few hours passed in dull anticipation of Void's return. Ista unscrewed the caps off every bottle he could find and tossed them around for Papushka to chase. The cat went wild and zooming around the apartment, the caps clinking and rattling under her paw. The door creaked. Void froze, crunching a pile of caps underfoot. Papushka hissed and puffed up so much she looked like a fuzzy ball. I see you're making good use of your time. He scooped up the caps and flicked them aside, eyeing the cat as she pounced after them. I looked inside the doll. You got a death wish? Something's happening in the sigillum, and the doll's connected to it. I know. The door swung open again, and I leapt off the sofa, spotting Heman. Ista stood and gave a quick bow. My apologies for the wait. Hearing Heman's voice, Papushka turned around. Her sharp, whining meow melted into a sweet purr. Shameless little thing. Inspector, an honor to meet you in person. Ista faltered, bowed his head, and backed away slightly. My apologies that my servants made themselves at home, young patron. They're excellent company, Inspector. Papushka dug her claws into Heman's trousers as he leaned down, helping the cat onto his shoulder. Look at the kitty. Good to hear. First, I'd like to speak with each of you privately. I'll open the study. Thank you, Asra. I raised my head and straightened. His gaze softened slightly. Behave yourself. I am the picture of good behavior. He glanced at Void. So I've heard. Don't do that again. Huh? What's he talking about? I glanced at Void. The Harmonaut rolled his eyes. What did you sing to him? Heman smiled and followed the patron. The long night's supposed to end this week. Maybe it's not that serious after all? The tower hasn't been sealed yet? No. Why? They always seal it at the start of the second week and open it on the last day for the whole city. Void shrugged. He seemed to know no more than I did. The mechanisms are failing. The sigillum's been overflowing with disharmony for years. Maybe it's reached its limit now. Isn't that what the long night's for? You seal the tower, fix whatever's leaking, and then celebrate the repairs properly. Repairs? He gave a small smirk, brushing his hair, and then burst into laughter. Oh, forgive the clumsy commoner for her ignorant words. Asra, Harmonauts can't repair the sigillum. It's a creation of the choir, and many of its floors have a life of their own. His smile faded. He looked at the floor. He hasn't returned to us for too long. Ordinary rituals aren't enough anymore. His words made me shiver. Enduring the wails of the sigillum for a couple of weeks a year is one thing, but feeling its pressure for longer, that's unbearable. If only the choir can solve the problem, what can the inspector do? First, find the source of the problem. After that, it'll get either easier or worse. Soon, Ista returned. The faint trembling of his wings revealed his unease. Flustered, he pressed them with his palms, smoothed the feathers, and sighed deeply. Everything all right? He took another breath. Void nodded. The inspector asked for you, Harmonaut. Glancing at me, Void laughed. Will he help you? No idea. Hard to tell anything from that doll face of his. Familiar look. When Heman gets interested in something, he forgets to move or even show emotion. Did he say anything about the doll? He asked about the first encounter and what I saw through resonance. Nothing new. He seemed more curious about whether the stress was going to make me sick. Did it? The only thing I've had all this time was a glass of whiskey. I still feel queasy. Ista collapsed on the couch. I'm dying for something sweet. Or greasy. And lots of it. Cake? Chocolate. With nuts. Groaning, he covered his eyes. Void returned and nodded towards the study door. You're next. I entered the study and a sharp pang shot through my temples. Unlike the other rooms, here Heman's presence was distinctly tangible. The air grows heavier wherever he lingers for more than a few minutes. Heman sat motionless at the desk. Sit. Chair or lap, your choice. I fought the urge to roll my eyes. He still remembers that stupid joke. Figures. Someone's in a good mood. He stayed silent, waiting for me to sit. Glancing around, I noticed Papushka in the corner. She's watching my legs with predatory focus. She'll pounce the moment I get too close to him. I sat down on the chair, eyeing the cat warily. Right now, you should worry about something other than Papushka. I'd rather think only about her, thanks. He even tried to smile, but froze, as if he'd forgotten how to do it. I should have taken you and Papushka with me to the tower. The doll would have shown up in the city anyway, but you'd have found that out much later, so really, I did you a favor. Indeed, such a helpful servant you are. When you finally stop ignoring my calls, I might even offer a compliment or two. He's sulking. If I had time to find a cat outfit, he'd forget about it in a heartbeat. What a complicated expression. Plotting mischief again? You'll like it. The last time I heard that... He stopped mid-sentence, remembering something. I had too many opportunities to distract him, but I was certain he was thinking of that particular incident. Recalling your servant without clothes, Inspector? How vulgar. He chuckled, and for a moment I felt calmer. Sometimes his emotions felt genuine. Were you planning to repeat the exercise? In someone else's house? No, I saw some sense of shame. Shame, of course. It's been a few months, but I still feel embarrassed about that. You stop using stimulants. This has nothing to do with your foolish stunt. Liar. Maybe. Is it so hard just to praise me? He tightened his lips and glanced at Papushka. Oh my god. I don't think we could go any further. This is getting kind of spicier than I expected. I don't think I can play this on stream. High five. I instantly flushed at the memories. Delighted by my reaction, he smiled warmly. Nevertheless, thank you. You do know how to lift my mood, but that's not why I called you here. Should I keep quiet about everything and go home? No. Do you need to get your hair done? Sweetheart, just hush for a moment. I grimaced. He knows I can't stand being called that. Heyman stood up from the desk, and I got up too. He froze, staring at me without blinking. I didn't screw up that much for him to look at me like a criminal. Repeat what the dolls said, word for word. The first time they said, they don't hear. Do you? Who are they? No idea. You spoke to the doll. What'd you say before hearing that? I tensed, trying to recall. Harmonauts. I said I'd give them the seed. Harmonauts don't hear? Are you sure? Maybe you should look at the doll instead of interrogating me? I didn't ask for your opinion. I stumbled and looked down. It was the first time Heman had spoken to me in that tone. It looked more amusing from the outside. Is that all? While Ista was examining the doll, I heard it again. Will you find it? Do you hear it? But I didn't get it. You don't have to. Now that stings. I had 2 theories. Both require testing. Care to share? He blinked for the first time in this conversation and gave a genuine smile. Want to be a useful servant, sweetheart? I want you to stop calling me that. Fine. First, I'll test my theories. You're going with Void the Capello now. He'll bring me an empty seed, and you'll watch him. What do you mean, watch him? You don't trust him? Asra, do you know what good servants do? Follow orders. And don't ask pointless questions. So get moving. I need a seed. Not a word to Void about our conversation. He knows what he needs to know. I hesitated, and Heman tilted his head. Fine. Ask away. Why an empty seed? It's just a crystal, a very expensive crystal. He stepped closer, pointing at his throat. A seed holds every moment of life. In human bodies, it even takes root. I don't know why, but humans are perfect soil for them. For devas, it's just an initiation ritual. Their bodies are close to the choir even without seeds. But tell me, how can a seed grow and live in something that was never alive? I focused on the pattern of scars on his throat. You're alive? Harmonauts see my existence differently. He lowered his chair and looked at Papushka, who was gleefully clawing the chair. To them, I'm a memory of life, frozen in time, bound in an eternal body for eternal service. It's a lot of self-awareness for a memory, Heman. He smirked. My seed and my body are the exception to all rules. All others are just echoes of a soul. Without a living body, they're little more than obituaries. Though some believe it could be otherwise. Because of me, I need a pure seed to confirm that chimeras remain nothing more than grim fairy tales. Void mentioned chimeras. He spent most of his life among the dead, Harmonauts from the crypt. Let's just say they encounter things that shouldn't exist more often than most, and they call anything unnatural a chimera. So I meant a phenomenon and not a specific creature? Heman tilted his head, studying my throat. Showing some interest, are we? Am I not allowed? You are. I'm just tired of handling it all alone. Despite his annoying term of endearment, I broke into a smile. From a simple servant to the inspector's colleague, and soon enough, the inspector's title itself. Deflate your cheeks before you burst with pride. Just a little praise from him was enough to make me feel better. More important. Heman patted my shoulder and gestured towards the door. Get to work. You'll have time to daydream later. I bowed and left the study. Noticing me, Sid jumped from the couch and handed me a card. Buy me some food, I beg you, by the choir. Anything? Not bad. A bit more and I'll start chewing the sofa. We don't have time for shopping, and the stores are long since closed. I snatched the card before Ista could change his mind. I'll find something. He didn't say the food had to be high quality, right? If I'm lucky, I'll swing by home. I stock up on all sorts of tasty junk for the entire long night. Thanks, Stevel. Void opened the door and nodded. Watch the Harmonaut. Which parts of him exactly? I expected us to head to the main building of the Capella, but instead of the Grand Temple, we ended up in one of the smallest ones. Empty. Where are the Harmonauts? Scanning the hall, Void nudged me in the back. A jolt of pain hit my lower back. Move. I froze, wincing at the fading pain. Devil, come in. His voice grated on my ears. I glared at his leg, regretting not wearing pointed heels. As if sensing my mood, he grabbed my tie and yanked it upward. Oh my god, he's so aggressive out of nowhere. Better watch your tiny feet. I pulled the tie back and hissed as he tugged it again with ease. Let go! What's the magic word? Let go! I'll tell Heman everything. He tugged once more, and I froze, my forehead bumping into his chest. The magic word. Anger and shame instantly flared in my chest. The blocker crackled, and I pursed my lips, calming my breath. Hold on, you guys. I'll be right back. I'm back. The truth is, I have, like, some sort of stomach ache. I don't know what's going on, but I've been feeling sick for, like, the past hour. I thought it would go away, but, it hasn't. So, we're gonna try to wrap this up for a little bit. I did get to play for, like, 2 hours, and I've been really enjoying it. It's a lot spicier than I expected, and that's been fun. I didn't realize how spicy it was gonna be, though. So we'll finish up, we'll find a good stopping point in here, and then we'll probably wrap things up a little bit early. But this is a really enjoyable game, which, by the way, let me grab the Steam link. The Steam link is in the description of the YouTube video as well, but here it is for Twitch, in case you guys also want to get this game for yourself. This is really nice. I do like it so far. It's really interesting. I feel like there's not enough cyberpunk otome games. But yeah, we gotta find a good place to stop, because I'm feeling sick. Anger and shame instantly flared in my chest. The blocker crackled and I pursed my lips, calming my breath. I kicked him in the knee. Pain jolted through my leg. Void raised his eyebrows in surprise. Merciful choir, is he made of stone, or is it the uniform? It's like I kicked myself. I carefully lowered my foot. The pain dulled slightly, easing into a faint throb. Didn't break it, did you? I shook my head and he let go of the tie. Let that be a lesson. Sorry, I got a bit angry. I noticed. He leaned down to my eye level, pressing his forehead against mine. I swallowed and looked away. You lost your mind? We're in a temple. Right. And you just kicked a Capella servant in the knee. Is there really no one here? No one at all? Hearing something, Void exhaled softly. The air around him noticeably warmed. My anger faded. Blinking, I stepped back. Void straightened, eyes still on me. Pretty sensitive, aren't you? What was that? Nothing. Now forget it. He gestured to the side and hurried ahead. While watching him walk away, I tested my foot. The pain had fully subsided. At first glance, the temple corridor seemed empty, but closer listening revealed ritual chants behind the walls. Maybe this isn't a temple, but the Harmonauts' living quarters? I thought they lived under the main Capella building, but apparently not. Wood stopped at one of the doors, opened it, and stepped aside. I peeked into the room, but hesitated to enter. Need a formal invitation? I came for the seed. You keep it under your pillow? They're in the crypt. You can't go in there. Wait here. He even told me to watch him. If I sit here, I won't learn anything. I'm the inspector's servant. Make an exception. And I want to see an empty seed myself. Why are they kept in the crypt instead of a better place? Boyd glanced at me and smirked. Suddenly, he pushed me into the room. Void! I yanked the door, dismayed to find it was locked with the code. Let me out! I pressed my ear to the door. A Void heard me, he didn't react. Did he figure out the inspector sent me to watch him? The panel beeped at a few obvious combinations. I had to give up. Jerk. I'll turn this place upside down. You'll be cleaning up for days. I looked around the apartment, noting the cozy room. The setup reminded me of my own place. Nice we have similar taste in something. Okay. Here's where we will save. Okay. I said, I'm not feeling super good. I kind of feel like I'm gonna throw up. So, we're gonna raid out. Let me find somebody super fast. We're gonna raid. We'll raid Asahi. Asahi's playing Enfield. That'll be fun. There we go. Alright, no stream tomorrow. Should have Tarot Thursday as planned. Hopefully I'll see you guys on Thursday, but if not, no worries. I'll see you when I see you. If you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. Good night. I'm gonna go throw up. Mwah.